Thanks for joining me today on Living on the Cheap and Trying to Figure Out. Today we're going to talk about the things that I do not buy. So I have a little list here so that I can see it, otherwise I'm going to forget. So one thing I don't buy are books. I don't buy books. There are very few books. Sometimes I will look it up and see if it's worth buying, or I may read it first and see if it's worth buying and keeping. Usually in the past I have bought books at the thrift store or a used bookstore, and I would share them. I don't really keep books. My family does, but I don't. So I make my kids and my husband pay for their own books. But I go to the library. I find the library, hey, it's free. Why not? The other thing I do from the library is magazines. You can actually sign out magazines. Past subscriptions, you can always get those. Also, if you use the Zinio app here in BC, the libraries all have connected with Zinio, and you can use your library card to get current magazines on your phone, laptop, iPad, tablet, whatever device you use to read from, for free, and you can use the current ones. The other bonus is they do not expire, unlike an electronic book. An ebook does expire, and I don't know, it just vanishes from your tablet, but the magazines don't. I actually had to go through and delete, I think I had 200 magazines since 2004 that I had to delete because it was taking up so much space on my SD card, and there was no point because I wasn't looking back at them anymore. So yeah, that's another thing, and I totally recommend you look it up on your library website would be the best way. If you can't find it there, go to your librarian. Go to your local library. Take your tablet with you. Ask your librarian, how do I do this? A home alarm. We had a home alarm for about 10 years. We decided, why are we spending the money? We have bars on some of the windows. I have a very old house, and the windows are pretty much, they're very easy to open and get into. And since we have put the bars up, we haven't had a problem. So we stopped paying for the alarm, and that saved us about $45 a month. A month! So depending on where you live, if you live in a very risky area, maybe it'd be cheaper to buy the bars at $100 a pop. Will save you. We bought 5 or 6, so that was about $60, maybe $80. I can't remember now. You know what? It was well worth it. You paid for the alarm forever. And yeah, we decided just to get rid of it. And you know what? Paying for the alarm constantly forever, it was cheaper because, or not cheaper, it was cheaper to buy the bars instead of the alarm, because we actually paid off the bars when we stopped paying for the alarm. So that's another thing. Cell phone insurance. I have a cell phone. I have never paid for insurance on my cell phone. I find the only time I did was for my teenager. She was 14 at the time, and she went through 3 cell phones very quickly. So maybe for a child, if you have a child with a cell phone, but as an adult, even me who's klutzy and I keep dropping my phone, they seem to take a drop fairly well, not into the toilet or anything, but from my pocket to the ground. It happens quite often, and it's still working just fine. I mean, it's got a little bit of bumps and scrapes on it, but it works fine. So I don't buy those for myself or my husband. And my daughter now is 18, so we don't have it on her phone, her current phone either, just because it's not worth it, really. We also don't buy any electronic insurance. So you can buy an extended insurance for your laptop, for your TV, for your video games, your game controllers, your game console, pretty much anything you can buy insurance for, and we don't buy that at all. If it's something that stays at home, like a desktop computer, definitely don't even waste your money on that, okay? It's just, they're making thousands upon thousands upon thousands of dollars off of you and everybody else who's buying this. A laptop now, it really depends on who's using the laptop. I would say an adult is less likely to let that laptop drop or fall or get damaged easily. A teenager or a young child, that would be different. Maybe you would consider it, but don't get it for an adult. I don't recommend it. Gym pass. As you know, I don't do the gym pass. I had done a video earlier about to buy a gym pass or not to buy a gym pass. I actually work out at home. I have some dumbbells and some one barbell with removable weights on it, and we have some weights. We have one set of kettlebells, and that probably cost me a fair amount over the years. I didn't buy them all at once, don't get me wrong. You could start off with just a pair of dumbbells. I believe Arnold Schwarzenegger only had dumbbells to work with. I'm not even sure if he had a barbell. And he, as you know, was a world championship. So I'm not trying to get into the world. I just want to get fit and form and flexible. So I follow a lot of YouTube videos. Blogilates is a great one for yoga Pilates. I think it's more of a Pilates course. There are lots. Just check out YouTube. It's free. Why not? You're already on it now. The other thing I don't spend any money on are Office Word programs, such as Office, or I think it's called Works or Word. I can't remember. I use Google Docs. Love Google. I use Google Chrome. I do not have a Chromebook, but my next purchase may just be a Chromebook. But I use Google for everything. And so the Google Docs is an excellent program. And one thing that Google Docs does that other programs don't do is, if me and somebody else, say me and my husband are working on the budget together, he's out of town, I can share the program with him, the file. He could be on his computer at the exact same time I'm on the computer, and we could be going through the budget together, looking at it at the same time and adjusting it at the same time. We cannot be on the same line, adjusting the same word or number, but we can be adjusting it at the same time. And that's one thing I really do like. The other thing is bank fees. Find a bank local to you that offers no bank fees. Yep, you heard me do it. I have switched my bank two different times because of bank fees. The first time I was promised, no, you're not supposed to have the bank fees. Your grandfathered in. It's a 75-year-old account or something ridiculous. And they kept charging me $40 a month. So I left that bank. Went to another bank who, again, no bank fees. After 10 years, they started charging me bank fees. Left that bank. I'm now with a credit union. And I'm liking them a lot. Their service is excellent, and no bank fees. For day-to-day banking, no bank fees. So I can use my debit card as many times as I want. I don't usually. I can take money out of the bank as much as I want from my checking account. No fees. I could write checks. I don't. I use cash. So nothing can bounce. And when I look at my bank account, what I see is really what I have. I don't know what else I could think of. Oh, I have automatic deposits, and I do have one automatic withdrawal for a payment, and no bank fees for any of these services. So, price around, look around, see what you can find. But that one is a big one, I think. Phone apps. Why the heck are you paying for phone apps? There's a million gazillion free apps out there, and they are excellent. So what if you get a little ad at the bottom of the screen? After a while, you get used to seeing it. You don't even notice it's there. Credit card fees, that's another big one. Why are you paying for credit card fees? Are you getting points on it? Are the points really worth it? If you are carrying a balance, it is not worth it at all. We did one credit card we had way back, probably more than 10 years ago, maybe 12 years ago. And we were collecting points to get free trips or holidays or gifts or whatever. We did buy a DSLR, and then we canceled the card for a lower interest credit card because we were carrying a balance. So credit card fees is another one. There are cards that are free. There are cards that, if you're carrying a balance for the lower interest rate, you do have to pay a fee. And that's something to consider. How much are the fees? What do you get with these fees? Last, it's an extra actually. New cars. We, in our 21 years of marriage, have only ever bought one car brand new off the lot, and we will never do it again. We bought it. It was a beautiful car, don't get me wrong, but I've been just as happy buying a used car as I have been with the new car, and it cost me a third of the price. Right now I'm driving, if Dave Ramsey heard this, he'd start laughing. Sorry, that's what I was thinking as I giggled. I'm driving right now a Mercedes B200. I paid $11,000 for it, taxes and everything. I had to pay for insurance. That's it. So it's a 2006. It's a little bit older. It's 10 years old already, but it drives like a brand new car. It works awesome. I have no problems with it whatsoever. We had to fix something once, and it cost me $1,100. But you know what? Even with a 4-year-old car, you're still going to have to fix something on it somewhere. I mean, it's wear and tear. The longer you keep your car, the better for yourself, because if it drives you from point A to point B without breaking down, why do you need a new car? You don't. So those are my ideas, things that I do not spend any money on. Maybe you've got some ideas out of there, and I thank you for enjoying my videos. Please subscribe below, and we'll see you tomorrow.